It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Halloween day on the 31st day of October 2020. I'm coming to you from the horse farm, as you can tell by the background, again out in Campbell County, Virginia. Rather than my studio at the farm in Bedford County. And the reason because of that, it's not complicated like last time with the weather and crap we had Thursday, but I had to be here for the midday walking the dogs. And so I decided that there was no sense in me driving all the way home, doing the show in the studio at home, turn around driving all the way back out here to let the dogs out midday and turn around, drive back again. So when I was in town yesterday, I grabbed the camera. So at least I know that I've got a decent shot today. And then we'll go on with it here rather than going into town and driving back and forth an extra time. So I am moving back to the house as soon as we finish the program today, and I'll let the animals out. So I'll be back home this afternoon, thank goodness. I've enjoyed the week out here, folks, but I'm ready to be back and sleep in my bed and have my chair and that kind of thing. So I normally do not make mention of this kind of thing on the air, but I am prompted to, I guess, because of the importance in my life. My family found out yesterday that we lost a very close friend to COVID. He was probably the single biggest influence in the lives of my mother, my sister, my brother-in-law, my niece, who all had professional dance careers because of him. A lesser degree to me, but somebody that I've literally known all my life. He and his wife contracted COVID. Now they were in their 90s, and he died in his sleep Thursday night. So I dedicate the show today to Glenn Bannerman, a good friend. So sad to hear this morning of the passing of Sean Connery as well, the first James Bond. So it's kind of a sad day on that sort of thing. All right, let's get right to the important things of the day. Many of you saw that while everybody would think that my lead story today would be on the CDC. Wrong. My lead story today is on the Titanic. What did he say? Did he say the Titanic? Yeah, that's right, folks. For the first time in 15 years, all of you folks that are fascinated by the legendary sinking of the Titanic will have the opportunity to explore the cruise ship's remains firsthand. But only a handful of people will be given clearance. Oceangate Expedition President Stockton Rush will be using his privately owned 5-person submarine to explore the famous wreck during voyages slated to take place between May and September. For this once-in-a-lifetime adventure, and for those who meet the requirements and can pony up $125,000, the ship will set sail on an 8-day voyage out of St. John's, Newfoundland. So you can explore the Titanic. Tom Henry, get off your checkbook. It seems like that would be right up your alley. And what I find was controversial at best. Of course, everybody by now has seen the reports of the CDC lifting the cruise ship No Sail Order. But don't be confused by this, folks. This is not a green light. not the green light we wanted, at least. When the No Sail Order expires actually tonight, it will be replaced by a framework for Conditional Sailing Order. Now, folks, this is a 40-page document. I have been through the entire, I spent the entire night last night going through this 40-page document that's full of crap. Basically, the cruise lines must prove to the CDC that they can put the necessary protocols in place to keep passengers and crew members safe during future sailings, but by individual ship, not by cruise line. The first phase involves crew member testing designated to make sure they are safe, while the cruise ship operators build the laboratory capacity needed to test future passengers. Now, did you catch that clause? While the cruise ship builds a laboratory to test future passengers. They're not doing the quick tests. These have to be the PCR, whatever this, stick the damn swab up your butt tests. And they're going to make each individual ship have their testing facility in place, the way I read it. Now, folks, some of this may change, but this is what's going to be in place as of midnight tonight for the next year. This runs until next year. Ships will have to meet certain requirements in order to be certified, at which point they will be allowed to proceed with a phased return to cruise ship passenger voyages. The first cruises to leave port will be simulation sailings designed to show that the ships and crews are compliant with CDC standards and able to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 on board. During the initial phases, cruise ship operators must demonstrate adherence to testing, quarantine, and isolation and social distancing requirements to protect the crew members while they build the laboratory capacity needed to test crew and future passengers. Subsequent phases will include mock voyages with volunteers, such as employees or their families. These test voyages will be akin to shakedown cruises the lines do when any new vessel sails out before its official maiden voyage. In order to resume passenger sailings, according to the order, each ship must earn a COVID-19 conditional sailing certificate. Each ship must get this certificate. Now, how long is all this going to take? This can't be done overnight, folks. Number one, they've already said it's going to take them 30 to 60 days to get crew members back. Now, yes, some of them have a leg up and have started working on that, getting their crews back. But they got to have the crews in place. Then all the crew members have to go through the PCR test, and they haven't got labs yet to complete the test. So they got to farm them out while they build the laboratory, I guess on ship. And then you've got these test voyages. The CDC is going to make the cruise lines go through all these bells and whistles before they give them the right to sail with passengers. What is clear is that when the cruise line do officially start welcoming guests back, they will likely do so with the number of new health and safety protocols in place that we're used to already from the European sailings. I got no problem with any of that. But it's the other bells and whistles ahead of time that looks to me like, you know, when the White House got involved and started dictating what the Redfield and the CDC was supposed to do, this is just, to me, is another way of the CDC striking back. They're not making the airlines do this crap before you fly. So where are they making the entire cruise industry go through all this? I'm angry about it. Once operations are approved, passengers and crews will be required to undergo COVID-19 testing at both embarkation and disembarkation. The CDC has also indicated it will help cruise line establish a laboratory team dedicated to the industry that will provide information and oversight for COVID-19 testing. It will also aid the uploading its color coding system to indicate vessel status, update technical instructions as needed, and update its necessary forms to ensure COVID-19 data collection for passengers. Complying with this framework for conditional sailing will be the first step in a staggered resumption of cruise operations. Voyages are initially restricted to 1 week or less in duration. So no more of the long cruises for now, folks. While no lines have announced exact restart plans as of today, most probably will only do so with a handful of ships initially, leading to more cancellations going into 2021 as the industry employs a staggered approach to restart of cruise operations. Now, what does all this mean? To me, they're sure as hell not helping the cruise line, the cruise industry any. I mean, I think the CDC is going way overboard with what they're making the cruise ships do. And like a cruise line, even if you break down Carnival into each of their brands, Holland America, they can't do this test once, set up one ship and do it for all of the Holland American ships. Each individual ship has got to do that. How much time is that going to take from each ship, from each cruise line, from each port? Good Lord. A lot of the details that have been going on in Europe, I'm all in favor of. I mean, I can understand the way they've done it. Totally in support of MSC. Yeah, there's things about it I don't like. And I'm sure a lot of that is because of the lack of safety in travel right now, because of the tremendous spikes. I mean, yesterday's the worst single day any country has had since this thing started. The U.S. broke that record yesterday. The worst day of every country in the world. So, is it safe to travel right now? Probably not. Europe's going through, several of the countries over there shut down again. Great Britain's probably going to shut down again this week. Do I want to see that? No. But I sure want to see it a lot better in this country than it is right now. But I still think I think this is going to hurt the cruise lines more and more. And I don't see it's going to put us any closer to cruising again. Yeah, I can see it, the safety of the cruising once we get going. Keep in mind, folks, the CDC is still saying we do not recommend you cruise. That order still stands, that belief. So I don't see it, folks. I don't think this is much of a help to us. I really don't. You guys, Jason and Bonnie, you guys that are scheduled the first week of January, I'd love to tell you that, oh man, you're going to go. Wow, hell, who knows? We have no idea at this point how long it's going to take to get a single ship certified. And the procedures and protocols for doing that are still somewhat have to be developed, although this 40-page document is pretty detailed on how it's going to be done. And I do not recommend you go try to read that damn thing. Oh my God. It's a waste of time. So anyway, that's like it is. There is no more no sail order. We can now sail. I mean, technically, somebody could sail tomorrow on November the 1st if they've gotten the approval. Well, nobody's gotten the approval yet. Our friends down at Bahamas Paradise, I mean, they have a date set for December, whatever. I don't even remember what it was now, 18th, I think. But they have to get all this done beforehand before they'll be allowed to cruise. So yeah, there's, to me, this is still way up in the air. And again, why just the cruise industry? Why not the airplanes? They're not have to do any of this. The parks are not having to do any of this. Yeah, they've got protocols in place, so does the cruise industry. I'm more frustrated and angry than anything. All right, the former Carnival Fascination has been sold to a company in Asia. It's not going to the scrap heap like we thought, and like the fate of 3 of its Fantasy class sister ships. At this point, the ship's new owner and role is unclear, though Cruise Industry News is reporting that Fascination is en route from Cadiz, Spain to Singapore for a technical stop prior to becoming an accommodation ship in Asia. The 1994 built Carnival Fascination, until recently, had been home ported in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So she's not going to be torn apart like the rest of the ships. That's cool. That was one of the ships that I really liked. Okay. A couple other things to mention, and then I'm going to go on with our chat room tomorrow on Cruise Amigos. Allison Moore has done a marvelous job of putting together photos of her Norwegian epic Southern Caribbean cruise she recently was on. It's going to be fun, and just to sit back and let Allison go and tell us about Aruba and San Juan and St. Thomas and all the stops she made down there in the southern and eastern Caribbean. But more importantly, the Cruise Amigos is going to take a couple minutes of the show tomorrow for a major announcement. We're not going to get into a whole lot of detail because I don't want to take away from Allison and all the effort she's done for what's going to be a fun and enjoyable show. But we are going to take a couple minutes for a major announcement that's going to a biggie, a real biggie. So please join us tomorrow, 3:00 Eastern Standard Time, 8:00 Greenwich time. Is that what you call it in London now? London time. Anyway, back to normal on the same time as of tomorrow. The cocktail party this afternoon is still weird times because of we're still on daylight and London's back to normal. But anyway, join us for the cocktail party this afternoon. But most importantly, join us tomorrow for the Cruise Amigos live from London with Allison Moore, and on top of that, a major announcement. So, all right, let's go over and see who's here this morning, and then I'll be heading back to the house. Excuse me. All right. Tom Henry's with us. Hope you got off that checkbook, Tom. Tom wonders if he can get a tent up on Great Stirrup Key. Well, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? I'll tell you what, you get a tent up on Great Stirrup Key, I'll come down there and sit back in a hammock, and we'll get some little island girl to sell fresh squeezed lemonade to the tourists that get off the ships. Show us the horses. It's too damn cold to go out there to the whole. It's cold here. It was like 40 degrees this morning. I about froze my tutu off out with the dogs. Pete's with us. Hello, everyone. Hope to see you at our Halloween Zoom party. And breaking news with the Cruise Amigos, we'll be making an exciting announcement on Sunday's show. That's what I just said. Oh, by the way, Gretchen, thank you for your donation on Thursday. I did not. I've got to make myself get in the habit of checking emails before I get off the air, and because it was there, and I just completely never thought about it to go check my emails before while I was still on the air. So, donation from Gretchen is always appreciated, folks. She used the new PayPal link. That works so much better, folks. Oh my goodness. And actually the money you intend for me to get, I actually get all of it. So as opposed to YouTube taking 43% or whatever the hell that figure was ridiculous. Gretchen, yes, we still need a little silliness. I agree. Tom, may I suggest you wear a helmet if you sleep under any coconut trees? Oh, that would be cool. Tom Henry with the helmet. Now, I like that. I like that a lot. I think Chillie needs to vlog that Titanic tour. Yeah. If I had 125 grand laying around, I wouldn't spend it to go down to the bottom of the ocean to see the Titanic. So, happy Halloween, everybody. Yes, it is Halloween Day. Not going to mean a whole lot to most people, but anyway. Big question is, what will count as an outbreak? Reference the need to quarantine everyone and cancel the cruise in case of an outbreak. Yeah, there's some stuff, Tom. We just don't know yet. I came in just in time for Chillie's ranting. Well, I wasn't really ranting this morning, other than the fact I'm angry. I don't understand why they're picking on the cruise industry. Yeah, we had problems when this thing first happened. We've learned a lot since then. And we've been doing it successfully. So now you're still going to hammer us because of what's happened in the past. Man. Tom says my next NCL cruises are 14 days in April, 9 days in June. Not sounding good. Well, as it is right now, 7 days is the max. So they're going to change that. Now, I will say this coming out yesterday, and by the way, Carnival has asked for patience while they try to understand what the CDC is saying. I don't blame them. I can understand exactly how they feel because they're looking at this and scratching their head and saying, what the hell is all this stuff? But yeah, the Carnival has asked their customers to please be patient while they interpret what has to be done. And that, well, it's going to change things. I'm sure NCL feels the same way, Tom. Although both end in Europe, both of those end in Europe, how will a supply to a ship departing U.S. going to Europe? That's a good question. But those are clearly transatlantics are more than 7 days. So according to this, if it's coming from the United States, they're not going to allow it. So you mean you can have a transatlantic from Europe over here? Well, I mean, the ship's got to go back. Well, okay, go back empty, I guess. They're hurting. This is hurting the cruise industry, folks. I tell you, everybody that got all excited yesterday. Oh, the ban's lifted and we can sail again soon. Bull crap. I'm telling you, this is worse shape than we were in, as far as I'm concerned. Emily says, my girlfriend told me that New Zealand is COVID free. No one wearing a mask there. They are. They had one outbreak. It's been about a month ago now. I'm real familiar with the New Zealand situation. There was 9 total cases. They shut the entire country down for like 36 hours and got that eradicated and back to COVID free again nationwide. And yeah, so they're back to normal for most things. I mean, they're still very careful about it. They do still wear masks, though. It's not required, but they do. Tom Henry says, I find it strange the numbers are so high, but no one I know has it. Well, I tell you, Tom, then you're lucky, because it's not that way with me. And what I find insulting, especially with the crap that comes out of certain politicians, I find it insulting as hell to anybody that's lost a friend or family member to this. And everybody's saying, oh, this is fake news and this is not true. And I don't understand it because I don't know anyone. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm glad you don't, because, man, it's not like that. Nikki's with us. Good morning, y'all. Happy blue moon tonight. Yeah, I saw that too, Nikki. Emily says, I put the 40-page cruise document on my phone. I will read it when I'm working the polls. Don't waste your time. I tell you what, it's awful. It's just awful. Have I checked the Bahamas website? No, I talked to O'Neill. It's been about a week ago now. I have not checked it this week. And it has now, the bookings are not being accepted due to CDC. All right, that's probably going to change again as soon as they know how to get past this and get certified. Everybody, this is all new stuff, Tom. I mean, they don't have a clue what they're doing either. Nobody does. Because this is clearly not what the cruise lines were expecting. Not at all. And everybody was prepared to go in a similar circumstances to the way MSC and Costa and the other ships in Europe have been doing. Everybody was expecting that and willing to do that and willing to do all the protocols and changing the excursions. That's not my favorite thing about this whole thing, but still everybody was willing to do that and thought that was the steps to keep everybody safe. But CDC's, and I think it's political. I think it's their reaction to the White House stepping on toes. So I left for the hairdresser early. Anyone, you're welcome, Chillie. Oh yes, for the that's right. You went to the hairdresser. That's right. I forgot. But anyway, thank you, Gretchen. CDC needs a group watch of Frozen paying attention to Let It Go. Yeah. Here in New Rochelle, it's 45 degrees. It's cold. Yeah, it was 40 this morning, and that was late. That was like maybe 8 o'clock. So, I mean, earlier than that, it was probably in the 30s. It was cold because I just went out. This is a long sleeve shirt, long sleeve kind of a sweater kind of thing. But I needed a jacket this morning when I was out with the dogs, and I didn't have one here. And Tom says in August we have a 5-day, 7-day B2B2 will be interesting. Yes. I'm telling you, I'm not sure. I'm not sure this gets us back to normal, and they can still not allow ships to sail. That's the thing. And you've still got the issues, folks, of getting to the ships safely. So anyway, that's the way it is. So, all right, now today, before I end this thing, I'm going to go over and check the email to see if there's anything that I need to look at before I leave. And I don't see anything. That's very good. All right, that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. Again, I'm going to take the dogs out here for the next few minutes and pack my stuff up and head back to the farm in the next hour or so. So I'll be back to normal surroundings. Please, guys, don't forget tomorrow. I'd like all of you to come to the Cruise Amigos live from London, not only to see Allison as we talk about the Southern Caribbean, which is one of my favorite spots in the world, but also for our major announcement from the Cruise Amigos. We'll be doing a lot of talking about this in the future, but tomorrow on the show, we're going to make literally a major worldwide announcement. So it's going to have hopefully some wide-reaching effects on a lot of things. But anyway, that'll be tomorrow. So please try to join us 3:00 Eastern Standard Time, live from London. And other than that, you guys have a great weekend. Please, folks, stay safe. Wear your mask. Practice social distancing. Wash your hands. Keep clean. Keep safe. Do all those things. Try to stay healthy. One day soon, we'll be on a cruise ship. I promise. I'm afraid it's not going to be as soon as we'd like. All right, you guys have a great weekend. I will see you guys next on Tuesday, unless something major happens between now and then. And of course, I'll see you at the cocktail party tonight, and then live from London tomorrow. So that's it from now. This is the old fat travel guy. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you for watching today's travel and cruise industry news. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.